Hello, 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 everybody. Hi, this is Shirley with Shirley's Threadwork. Thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it as always. And I have to give a shout out, of course, to my YouTube and my Facebook people that are watching but are not in the chat. Hopefully, some of you will come into the chat. Hi, Robin. How you doing? And Val, I see you in the back waiting to come on. Not quite ready yet, but I see you. Just want to let you know I see you back there. Um, and like I said, hello to everybody. And also, I want to say hello to everybody that will watch the replay. As usual, I do appreciate it and thank you so much for your support. So, tonight, I forgot to put on my thumbnail that I put out, but I did put information out there. Tonight, we will be doing our uh, Social Society Crew Sew Along project, which happens to be quilting. So several of us made quilts or quilted projects, and we will be displaying them tonight. So this is the reveal. So hopefully you will join me and get a chance to see what we've done. We spent about 8 weeks or so doing the quilts, various, levels and what have you. Some people are quilters, some people are not quilters, me being one of them. And so, of course, it took a little bit longer to get the quilts done, but nevertheless, we got them done. So we're going to show you guys our project because we're quite proud of what we did. And we put a lot of effort into it. I do have a presentation that I want to do, but we're going to do the reveal first because I know some people aren't going to be able to stay for the whole show. So we want to make sure that everybody's going to get a chance to do their reveal, and then we'll dive into the project, the presentation that I put together. And I have to tell you, I did a lot of research. I got a lot of information, and of course, don't have enough time to share it all. But it's really important. I found out a lot about fabric and the importance of knowing what kind of fabric you have and how to embroider on it. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. So, like I said, I'm waiting for more people to come in, and then we'll go ahead and do the reveal. So I already said hi to Robin and to Val. So Becky, Jenny, Danielle, how you doing? Thank you for stopping by. And I have one, two, three, four of the people. So it's about three more people that have to come in before we can do the reveal. And hopefully they'll come in early because I forgot to tell them to come in early. Hopefully they will. If I don't see them in a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and text them. Tell them to come on and pop in. Hi, Pearl. How you doing? Thank you for stopping by. And Pearl, I guess I forgot you were in Maryland. So where in Maryland are you? Just curious. Just curious because I'm in Maryland and who else is in Maryland? No, we got people in Virginia. I can't remember who all is in Maryland. Uh, Robin. Robin, me, Pearl, and Robin, I see you in the back. How you doing? And Beck, if you want to go back there, you can too. And Danielle. And then I'm waiting on Leslie, Taisha. Oh, you're in North Carolina. Okay, you were just saying hi to Maryland. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. You're in North Carolina. How's the weather there? I know it's plummeting South Carolina pretty good. So, hi, Becky. I see you in the back waiting. And so I'm waiting on Leslie, Taisha, and I know Danielle, you're on here. Waiting on Deborah, Leslie, Taisha, and Deborah. And then we will be able to start the reveal to show our project and what we've been doing. Because we're quite proud of it. I tell you, I know I'm proud of mine. Because it took a lot of work, a lot of energy, a lot of pricking my fingers with pens. Had to learn not to do that. but you need to use clips more often than the pins, and then you get stuck less. Um, Believe it or not, I have pretty much decided that I am going to do another quilt. I'm going to try. Robin, you're laughing at me, and Val, you're clapping. I am going to do another quilt. I don't know exactly when, but I am going to do another quilt. And Pearl, you said very warm and nice, expecting rain on Thursday from the storm. Okay, well, I'm glad the weather's not so bad because I was watching it. My son is in Florida, and he said that they were okay. So I'm glad to hear that. And as I was watching the news earlier today, I saw where it was flooding pretty bad in Charlotte, North Carolina. So just hope and praying that everybody there is okay. Hi, Marissa. How you doing? Thank you for stopping in. I do appreciate it. And Danielle, I see that you hopped in the back, so I see you back there. And I am going to see if I can get in touch with Leslie, Taisha, and who Deborah. Okay. Okay, I just sent them a message, so hopefully they will be hopping on pretty soon. Um, if they get it. And I don't know. If not, then I will let them do theirs a little later. It's no big deal. So I'm going to give them a few minutes to hop on. And if they don't, then I'm going to go ahead because I know Val needs to do something. Um, so, but anyway, got a few people watching in the background. And I want to make sure that everybody that is wanting to see the reveal will get a chance to do it. So I don't want to start it too early. And like I said, I'm going to kind of do it the reverse this time because usually I do my presentation and then the reveal last. But I'm going to kind of switch it up a little bit tonight. And I hope that if anybody wants to see it and they miss it, of course, you know you can see the reveal later on by watching the replays. But I do want everybody to get a chance to see what we've done because I know we put a lot of work into it. And with that being said, we want to show it. We want to show it. And it's not quite, it's just 8:09, and I usually don't start until about 8:10. So I'm going to give it a few more minutes, and then if not, I'm going to go ahead and um, at least let Val go ahead and do her presentation of her beautiful quilt. And she can tell you all about it. So Leslie's in. So Leslie, did you get the link to um, come on to do your presentation? You can just let me know, and then I'll tell you when to go to the back. Hi, Felicia, Souls Casual. How you doing? Thank you for dropping in. I appreciate it. I don't know if I met you before, but that's okay. If I haven't, I appreciate that you're here anyway. And again, like I said, thank you and welcome. And Leslie, you say you didn't get the link. Did you check your email and your text? Because I sent them out to everybody and people are on. So okay, Deborah's on, Taisha's on, and Leslie, you said you did not get yours. So you would be the only one that's not on. So I'm gonna send it to you again. And I don't know if you did check your messages or not. Uh, Let me see. I just sent it to you were out walking, so you didn't check it. Okay. Well, go ahead and check, but I just sent it to you again. So whenever you get it, then go ahead and log in, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. And welcome Kingsbury Craft. So we did a our regular sew along, which we do periodically. Of course, we've been doing this since last October. I believe is when we started, and we did the Christmas tree skirts, and we've been doing it ever since. And we do various projects every so often. Usually, we will take anywhere from what last time when we did the Christmas skirt, it was 10 plus weeks. This time with the quilt, I think it's been at least 8 weeks, and then we've done different things in between. So this particular time we did quilting projects. Some of us actually did quilts, and some people did wall hangings and other quilting projects. Well, everything was a quilting project. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to bring you in, Val. You are up first. So I'm going to go ahead and bring you on stage. Are you ready? Just put your thumbs up if you're ready. Okay, she's ready. So I'm bringing you in, Val. There you are. I
Hi.
see you. Okay, so Val, go ahead and tell us about your quilting project, what it is, what you did, and whatever else you want to share with the people.
Okay, so I did a baby quilt because I decided to do a technique that I had not done completely, which is completely doing quilting by machine. So all my blocks were quilted totally by machine, and then I just put them together. But I didn't do a piece block, which is what I want to do the next time, where you do, so I can make a piece quilt by machine only. And that way you don't have to worry about measuring and cutting. All you have to do is lay the fabric down and keep going. So mine is a baby quilt because I was traveling. I didn't do a whole lot. I didn't do a big quilt. So this is the baby quilt. I'm gonna bring it up close so you can see it. These are
Oh, that's
blocks that were quilted by machine. Whoops. Wait a second. There we go. Those are the quilt blocks. So I did a 9 block one, and my center, let me see if I can stand up. The center one has a little baby in it.
oh, that's so cute. That is so cute.
And
I,
since these were quilted with batting, the backing I didn't have to do too much to. What I did for the backing was I found a soft fleece backing so that this is against the baby, so it's nice and soft for the baby. And I have a little girl who is 2 months old that I'm going to gift it to.
okay,
And that
that
is
is
it.
absolutely
I don't know if you can see the
gorgeous.
whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we can see it. It's really nice. Did you do the what do you call the connectors? Somebody help me out. What do you
The
call the connect?
lattice,
No, no, the white part.
the lattice, the sashing.
Okay. Yeah. You did that in the hoop or separate?
That I did separately. I did that on the flatbed after I did all of the blocks. The problem was that when I started, I was going to not put the sashing in. I was just going to connect all the blocks.
Mm-hmm.
But I asked the group and they decided that they thought that the white would look better. So to be separated instead of having all the pink. And so I just cut strips, 2.5 inch strips, and sewed them on. And then I made these were I think about 5 inches. And then I put a little corner block that I think I'm gonna put a heart in the middle of each cornerstone block. And the baby was done. I thought she was adorable.
It is.
And
It's really cute.
she was done by just my multi-needle machine.
Mm-hmm.
And when we started, I said I didn't want to spend any more money on patterns. All of these patterns, the quilt blocks came from Creative Fabrica. And I'm not really sure whether I got her from Etsy or Creative Fabrica. Miss Banks would know. She said she had her too.
I
So
got her.
that's it.
That's gorgeous. How many blocks do you have?
It's only 9.
Oh, okay. All righty then. That
9
is so
by 8
pretty.
blocks.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
hi, Miss Mac. And we got more people in now that they know that we're going with the reveal. People are coming on in, so
I'm
that
gonna
is
be
good.
traveling, so I'm just gonna take this with me. So I'll see you later. I won't be able to text because I'll be in motion.
Okay, so you're getting ready to go. Okay, then. Well, thank you so much.
Okay.
Take care. Bye bye. All righty then. So you know what? I sent out the order. Let me pull mine up because you know me. All righty then. I got my. Let me see. Do I have the order? You guys should have it. Y'all can tell me who's next. Let me see if I can pull this up right quick. Because I emailed that information. All right, Deborah. That's who I have on here next. You ready, Deborah? Thumbs up. If you you got your you're muted.
Hello?
All right,
Hello?
gotcha. Hey.
Hi, everybody. Alrighty. I did, well, I'm going to actually show you 2 quilts that I did during this period of time. And
Overachiever.
the first one I called my cheater quilt because this one I used actually a panel. So this was the first one that I did.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Big flag, you guys.
Okay.
American.
This one was for the 4th of July. And this is the back. And this one actually has, I don't know if you can see it, but it's quilted with stars. It's quilted with stars on it.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Okay. That's
yes.
a stars. And this one I did as a stitched it on the front, machine stitch, and hand stitched it on the back. This one was hand stitched on the back. Okay. This one measures approximately about 48 by 50, 52, something like that. This one. So this one wasn't much to do except for I did, like I said, it was a panel. I added the borders, the white border, the red borders, and the little trim here, decoration there, and then the binding, a blue binding all the way around that I added to it. But other than that, it was a very large panel. Okay.
Really nice. Really nice.
Thank you. Then this one is the one I did. And this one is made out of half square triangles. And this one's about 82 half square triangles.
That's gorgeous. That's what I say about these overachiever people.
This one is about 50 by 50. It has half square triangles. Then it has a black border and a decorative border. And then it has the the binding. And this one, I did the entire binding by machine stitching. So I started on the back and then did the machine stitching on the front, where the other one I started on the front and did hand stitching on the back. And this one, this is the back. It's just a large checkered back. It's all black and white. As I said, it's about 50 by 50 inches. And this one I did, if you can see, I did a stippling. I don't know if you can see, you could probably see it better on the back. This one is a stippling. See?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I did that throughout this one. So this one took a lot longer because, like I said, I had to cut out each of these pieces and put them together to make half square triangles for them. And I really like it because it's one thing I like about half square triangles. You know, when you turn it a different direction, it looks completely different. Now each time I turn it, it looks completely different. So it depends on, whichever way you like it. And this one's all black and white. This is black and white. Matter of fact, Shirley, you had mentioned before about I like black and white, but actually the tote bag that I made was navy blue and white. It wasn't black and white.
Right, but you had some black and white jelly roll that you said you were going to use at some point.
Right, but that's what I use for this.
Okay, all right.
This is all 5-inch squares, or what you call charm packs, and then these are the jelly rolls.
Okay.
And it's all the same. It's all the same from the same fabric line. So.
Well, I have somebody asking if you're selling them.
So I'm hoping when I'm gone from this earth that my children may cherish it. May. Who knows? They might give them away.
Hopefully not, but you never know about these kids nowadays.
Exactly.
You never know. They don't seem to appreciate the value of what we collect. And I can't really say too much about it because I didn't appreciate my grandmother's stuff until I got old, and I regret getting rid of stuff.
So it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I hadn't made a quilt before from half square triangles, and this was the first time I actually did the pattern quilting, the stippling or the stars. This is the first time I actually did that. In the past I've always done straight line stitching. This
and
time,
you did your edge to edge on your
luminaire.
Luminaire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. So I had a great time.
They're actually very beautiful, very beautiful. So the next person up is going to be Robin.
Bye.
Bye. Let me see if I can pull you off. Wait a minute, gotta get this off. Where are you, Deborah? I'm just messing. Okay, remove from stage. Got that all. Now, let me find you. There you are. Now, okay, now I can bring up Robin. Here you are. Okay, Robin.
Hello. Okay, I did my quilt. It was called the Fat Quarter Mixer by Material Girl Quilts. It was a free pattern online. And I got 2 5-pack fat quarters from Walmart and did it. And then I got the binding material and the backing from Walmart also. The batting was something I had old at home that I used. And this is my quilt. It's 50 by 60.
That is, oh, okay.
And then there's the back. I don't know if you can see the quilting.
We can see it, and I don't know if you were going to tell it, but she did that on her single needle
Oh.
machine.
Yeah.
All of that quilting was done on her single needle SE 1900 machine. So bless her heart.
And I did the binding. I sewed it on the front and then did it on the back by hand. And the label I sewed on by hand. You can't read it too well. I used archival ink pens and they're hard to see, but I know what's on there. And my daughter already took this quilt from me, so.
So you're showing somebody else's quilt.
Right. She keeps saying, when can I have it? When can I have it? I'm like, wait for the reveal.
That is really, really nice. Did you not do another one?
No, the one I did, I finished a quilt that I had started piecing. I still have to quilt it. It's all rolled up.
Okay, don't worry about it. You don't have to take it out. I just know that Robin is an overachiever too. So
Yeah,
okay, that's your breakfast one.
Yeah, it's all rolled up on my pool noodle. I can't decide how I want to quilt this one, so. But that's all. That's all.
Okay, very, very, very nice.
It was a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun with this group.
And Miss Max 211 said they get prettier and prettier.
Oh.
Jenny says, wow, way to go.
Thank you.
And Pearl says she loves the color.
Oh, yeah, I love the color of that one, too. That's why I wanted it. My daughter was like, I want that quilt.
Very, very, very colorful.
Yeah.
Very colorful. Okay, let me see. The next one is Taisha. Where did you go, Taisha? Okay, I see you. I got you. All righty then. Let me take you off, Rob, and bring Taisha. You ready, Taisha? Thumbs up. You ready?
I don't even know how to do thumbs up.
You're on here.
Okay. Shirley, you just said that most kids don't like most stuff that you do. I'm making my grandchildren, each one of them. I have 10 grandchildren, and I knitted my first grandchild his a comforter. I mean a throw. And I started one on my second grandchild, but my grandchildren really appreciate everything I do for them, because my grandchild, he's 27 years old, and he sent me a picture of a bathrobe, him wearing a bathrobe that I made him when he was 15. And he was like, Grandma, I still have this bathrobe. The pocket was hanging off of it. So I said, Justin, when you come over the next time, bring the bathrobe and I'll fix the pocket on it for you. This one is for my granddaughter. Her birthday is Christmas Eve. So the fabric is all Christmas fabric.
Okay, all of those were fat quarters, right? Not fat quarters, jelly rolls.
Jelly rolls.
Yes.
And so
that turned out really pretty.
And I was having a problem with, I tried 3 or 4 bindings for it, and I finally went to Hobby Lobbies and found something that looks like candy cane. So I decided to use like a candy cane binding for it. And then the back is just solid red.
That's really nice. That's really nice.
And this was the first time I've ever made a quilt other than making scrap quilts for babies using the blocks. But this was a challenge for me because I've never made a quilt before, but I'm really happy with the way it came out. I sent her a picture of it and she said, Grandma, that's beautiful. And I said, oh, good, to myself, because I know she'll like it when I give it to her for her birthday.
That's really pretty. I really love it. I know you were wrestling with putting your pieces together because you don't like a lot of color. But
Oh,
that turned out
a lot
beautiful.
of stuff. I tried 4 different backings for it. I couldn't figure out which one, and then I found this one, which was like solid. It wasn't real busy because I didn't want the whole thing to be real busy. So I'm really pleased with it, and I know she'll love it.
That's gorgeous. I love it too.
I know she'll keep it and she'll use it because that's the kind of grandchildren I have.
You're so blessed.
Yeah.
You are so blessed.
It was a lot of fun, and I could see myself making another quilt. Now that I've challenged this one, and then after making the Christmas tree skirt, which I finished the second one, I just need to put all the pieces together for that one. But I'm really pleased with the progress of them.
And it turned out really, really nice. I am pleased with it for you.
Thank you.
It turned out really nice. And Deborah says very nice and quite large. How is it? How big is it? You know?
It's 45 by 58.
Okay.
And she's
and
small like me, so it'll be a perfect fit for her. She didn't need anything any bigger.
anything much bigger. And
Yeah.
Miss Mac said, Miss Mac 2011 said that is so creative. I mean, the work to do all of that, and it's the first one. Wow.
Yeah,
So
and I
it turned,
decided to just make go around each block, stitch around each block, opposed to putting a design on it because the fabric was so busy, it didn't really need any design on it. So that was easy too.
it turned out nice, and want to let everybody know that even though we work together on the sew along, and we do it through Zoom, and we do see the work in progress, this is the first time that we're actually seeing the finished product with most of these quilts. We've
Right.
seen them at various stages, but to actually see the finished product, it's a reveal to us as well. So just
Yeah.
want to let you know that we're loving how everything has turned out.
Yeah,
So
because
it's really,
everybody has been so creative and the outcome has really been really nice. So I love all the quilts that's been displayed so far.
yeah, so far, because you hadn't seen mine yet.
Well, I've seen some of yours and it looks good, so I'm sure you did just as well as we did, especially for our first quilts.
For our very first quilt,
Right,
exactly.
And I listen to a lot of people who are now quilt designers, and they all say their first quilts came out horrible. I can't say mine came out horrible, but it could have been better. I'm satisfied with my first quilt project.
And it turned out really, really nice. It's really pretty. It's pretty as it is, as it shows up on the video. I'm sure it looks so much better in person because you never get the true beauty of anything, unless you actually look at it in person. So it really turned out nice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. So now I'm going to take you off and bring in Leslie. You ready, Leslie? Thumbs up. Okay, here you come.
Hello,
right.
good evening, everyone.
Hey.
I did a lap quilt, and it comes from a kit that a friend of mine gave me years ago when my grandson was born. And I never got to work on it because I was busy with so many other things. And my grandson is now 6 years old. So basically, he can't really use this anymore. But I didn't want to go out and buy anything. So I wanted to go into my UFO stash, which I mentioned to Shirley. She didn't know what UFO meant back then when we first started. And that means unfinished objects. So I have a bunch of them. So with this group, I'm slowly but surely going through a lot of my UFO stash, because when we started to do the Christmas tree skirt, when we first got together, that was I had that Christmas tree skirt pattern and the material for over a year. And when we met, and I was like, I'm glad that I was able to finish that Christmas tree skirt. And from that point on, from that project and doing all the other projects, I'd come to, appreciate our group. It's not my first quilt, but it's probably one of the lap quilts I've done. But this is let me see where I'm at. Okay. This is from a kit that my friends had gotten from AC Moore, which is a store that is no longer around, but I did have it, and it's for a baby quilt. It measures 30 by 36, and it came with all of these fabrics. And the thing is, I had to cut the fabric, and the only thing I had a problem with cutting was this center part, and then maybe some of the backing. But it came with each one of these pieces of material, and the brown corners are some like fuzzy or fluffy, or it was kind of hard to pin down, and it was kind of slippery to keep squared because all these things I had to square off. So each side is the opposite of the other one. But it came with this nice panel, and I was able to finish it off. Okay.
That's pretty.
And I tried to do stitch in a ditch, and then I started looking at the back, and the back started looking really bad. So I just said, let me stop that stitch in a ditch. But I only did it around to frame it, so it would, it would stay together. But this is the back, and all of this came with the kit.
With your kit.
So, and then it came with the pattern, and the pattern had all the different measurements and diagrams. And it's like another quilt kit that I had gotten from AC Moore myself. And what I did is I saved the pattern, and then I made my own using different types of fabric. So it's not impossible. It's still possible to take this pattern and do it with some other fabric and make it your own quilt with whatever fabrics that you may have at home. So, it was fun. And it was
and there's a question. Is there any batting in it?
No, there was no batting in it because this is like fleece. This is very light. So there's no batting in it. That was the one thing. It's basically you do the top and then you sew it together and turn it inside out, basically. And then you have your quilt. No batting at all, but I guess you could put batting in if you wanted to make it a little bit heavier. So it's kind of light. It's for a baby, so I'm sure you don't really want a heavy something for a baby to put, you may want them just to lay on it or just to cover the top of them or something like that. So it's very light.
You could actually wrap them up and it come kind of like
yeah, because it's like 30 by 36.
Because it's light.
So, yeah, it's light. It's really light. Most of this is cotton, and then this is a wrap. It's like a fleece or a furry type material.
That's for your bare material.
Yeah, the bare, the brown. It's brown material. So I don't know what. It's sort of like velvet or something like that. But it was kind of a little bit difficult to stitch and keep it squared or whatever, because each one you'd sew them together and then you add a piece and so basically it wasn't hard. But I'm glad that I was able to go through my UFO stash. I have another couple of patterns that I had gotten from fabrics.com and things like that I want to complete. But this is fun. And I appreciate the fact that, I'm in this group and I'm able to tackle a lot of things that I would not be really comfortable with because of the encouragement that we get from each other. So thanks very much for letting me show my
Well,
quilt.
thank you so much. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I know that you guys, several of you guys shop from home.
Yes, because I tell you, I don't need to go out. You know, I've got how many boxes or those plastic containers full of uh, material and fabric. And also, too, I made a couple of t-shirt quilts, or I'm like
Mhm.
to say one t-shirt quilt that I finished. And it took me a couple of years, but I have just one of those containers filled with t-shirts that I plan on using. And I'm helping a young lady in my church do some quilting or some. She's got a PE 770 and she just took it out of the box. So she's doing embroidery, and I'm trying to help her, with her quilting and things like that. So basically, you know, I got
You
all that
mentioned
to do.
you mentioned your t-shirt quilt. Is it handy?
I don't think, well, if I can come back, if you go to somebody and then come
You
back to
can
me,
you can come back because it's gorgeous. And if you don't
yeah,
mind
I can
sharing,
do that. I can.
okay, well, you go find it and I'll bring you back later.
All right. All right.
Okay. All righty.
See you
So
later.
the next person up, I believe, is Becky. Is that you, Becky? Are you next? No, Danielle. Danielle's next. Okay, you ready, Danielle? Wait a minute. Let me get Leslie off. Okay, now here you are.
Here
Okay,
I
Dan.
am. Hi. Well, I feel like I came to the party late because I was working on embroidering shirts at the time everybody else was working on quilts for, some of the people at my church. So I had to quickly shop my room and find something to do so I could catch up with the group. So I had these unused jelly rolls, and then I had to quickly come up with some sort of pattern to put them together to, get myself together for a quilt. So I jotted down a fun little pattern that I thought would look good with these jelly rolls. So are you ready to see what I came up with? All right.
We're ready. We're
You
ready.
ready? Okay. All right. So here's what I came up with my fun jelly roll. So here we go. All right.
That, and I have to tell you, Danielle put this quilt together in about a couple of weeks. We've been working on ours for weeks. And she came in, like she said, late at the party, and she just started ripping this stuff out.
She put
And
the pedal to the metal.
I saw her, she had like 4 or 5 blocks done. Next thing I know, she got all of them done.
Had
She
all
was
of them done. Look, they was talking and I was sewing. I was sewing barefoot and fast. So, so I
she was
shot my
playing
shot.
catch up.
I was trying to play catch up. I was sewing so fast. So let me show you where the block is. So technically, this right here, from here to here and over, this is the block. So it's like a 12 by 12 block. So it's kind of big, and I just turned it so that I didn't have to line up nothing. So that's why I was sewing fast, because I didn't have to measure and line up nothing. So I found some good coffee material that I could put on the back, right? Yeah. I quickly embroidered me a label. So I made me a little label. See there we go. There's my label. See? There
What
we
does it
go.
say? Stitch with Love by Danielle. Okay.
All
2024.
right.
And I tell you, that is
And
a
check this out. So
go ahead. Can't hear you.
So what I did, oh, and then I just did a serpentine stitch, basically. Just let's see, maybe you can see it better on the back. Yeah, I guess you could kind of see it on the back, sort of. The little serpentine stitch that I went, kind of, sort of see it from corner to corner. And the only thing that I haven't done on it yet is I've only glue basted the binding. It's on the front. I just got to sew it on the back. So that's the only thing I have left to do is to sew down the back of my binding.
Are you gonna hand stitch?
Girl, no. What in the world? What in the world? No. Oh, ain't nobody got time for that. But look, it's pretty long. It's this long, and I didn't know it was gonna turn out to be this big. So I'm actually kind of happy that I did it. But at the end, and this was Sunday, I go to try to do the binding. Y'all, I done lost all the pieces that I was putting on the binding. So I had to go shop my stash and come up with this one. So that's what we got.
That's pretty. That's pretty. It worked out really, really
Thank
well.
you. Thank you.
That turned out. You would not believe that this was a last minute. I just jumped into the game situation. She's trying to be Shakari Richardson or somebody.
There you go. That's it. It was so funny. They were all sewing, and I was sitting there standing at that embroidery machine, babysitting those shirts, and I was like, I am never gonna get nothing done. And then at the last second, just as you said, I was crossing the finish line.
Coming up from behind. Usain Bolt.
That's it. Here I come. Y'all wait on me. Here I come.
All righty, then. That turned out really well. It surely did.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Ann said laughter is contagious. Girl, you just don't know. We be doing a bunch of this in our sewing stuff. In our sewing group, we get together, we laugh, we stitch, we talk, we have a good time.
That's true.
We do work. As you can see, we get stuff done.
That's true. You're right. That's it.
We don't know how we gonna get it done, but at the end, we end up getting it done.
Yeah. So I'm gonna finish it. I like to work on Sundays. So once I come back home and everything is settled, like usually Sunday in the afternoon, then I'm gonna go ahead and stitch it down and wash it and call it a day.
Well, thank you so much. And I just Marina just popped in, and we all saying prayers for her because she's down there where Debbie is at.
That's it. Yep.
And so far she's safe, and we're praying for your safety and everything, Marina. And we do miss you.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll be able to participate in the sew along pretty soon. She said that she will close and move on the 28th. So she's hoping to join us back in September.
Yay. Okay.
Sounds like a plan. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. All righty then. So I'm going to take you off and bring Becky on. Becky,
all right. See you later.
Okay. All righty. All righty, Becky.
I did a wall panel, and then I did a quilt also, but I'll show you the panel first.
Okay. Okay.
This is a Chanel, which it's going to be really close up. You can see it. So I cut all those channels in it, and I did a Christmas wall hanging that's going to go. I'm going to give it to my mom for Christmas.
Oh, that is pretty.
Yeah, and I did it. Cut the Chanel with the Chanel cutter, and it turned out really, really cute.
Had you done that before?
Nope.
That's nice.
Yeah, it did turn out nice. I did it like one lady did I saw on a video, but I wish I'd have done it a little different because you really couldn't see his eyes. But I went in and made some little eyes and stuck in there, and it looked a little bit better. But it did turn out cute, and it's just 4 wall hangings put together.
Oh, okay. 4 panels that you put together make one big
Uh-huh.
panel.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
you sew them. And then I have a quilt that I started 3 years ago for my granddaughter. I gave her the kit, and then the next year I finally sewed it, got the top ready, gave it to her for Christmas. And then I've had it this year, and I had to get it quilted. So I decided this year was the year that I was going to finish it. And I did the end-to-end quilting on my 10 needle machine. And so this is what I got finished. I can get it right.
Okay.
It's a 50 by 70.
Oh, wow. That's a big quilt.
Yes, it
That's-
is. It goes all the way. Yeah, she collects Grinches, so she knows she's got it, but she hasn't seen it finished. And I don't know if you can see or not, but
Yeah, we can see the quilt. I can see the quilts and they're light bulbs.
yeah,
Christmas
I
tree
did
light
the
bulb.
design by Juju and did the Christmas light bulbs on it. And then this is the back. And I did 2 different ones on the back. So she had 2 different designs on the back. She's going to be
Now-
tickled to death.
Is the front panels that you put together?
Yes, they are panels. Each one of them, this was a panel, and then each one of these are a panel. Then I had to sew everything else to put it together. But yeah, it came as a panel. Yeah. So it's taken me 3 years to get this done. So she's going to be tickled to death. And I had the binding. They gave you this little green binding, and I really didn't like it and was going to rip it off. Then I decided to leave it on there, and I took the other material and used it for the binding. And I hand sewed my binding on.
Okay, well that is really, really nice, and it's big.
Yeah, she's going to be tickled to death with it.
That
And
is
I enjoyed it.
really, really nice. And Miss Max says, seriously, they get better and better. There's no way she could do all of that. Oh, yes, you could.
Yeah, it does. It was easy to do it with the 10 needle machine. Wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
It definitely, the more you do it, and listen to who talking like I know.
Exactly.
But the more you do it,
Yes,
the better you get. And that's the reason why I have decided that yes, I'm gonna do another one.
yeah.
And don't know
I
when
think
that'll
I will
be.
do another one too. Yeah.
Maybe I'll be able to convince Marina to do one with me, since she wasn't able to do one with us in this particular one, and we did talk about doing a quilt. So maybe we'll do a quilt together and do a reveal. Or anybody else that wants to do another quilt, we can all do another reveal. But I ain't putting that out there for everybody to say, we're going to do a quilt next time. No, we're going to do something else next time.
It was a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun on Wednesday night.
Yeah, we do. And trust me, I don't even have my wine on Wednesday night. We just be having regular fun.
I've been trying to keep this blanket hid from my granddaughter because she lives next door to me. So she pops in all the time. And I just knew tonight she was going to pop in. She did earlier, but I had it in a bag where she couldn't see it.
Okay, Leslie, are you ready with your t-shirt quilt? You ready with the t-shirt quilt? Okay, I'm gonna bring Leslie back in to show her beautiful t-shirt quilt before I do my reveal, because I'm last. So I'm gonna take you off, Becky, and I'm gonna bring Leslie back.
Good night.
All right.
All
Okay.
right. Well, this is my t-shirt quilt. Ooh, let me go put my chair behind me. Get it out the way. Well, I don't know how big this is, because
It's big.
It's pretty big, and I finished it on December 24th, 2015. And it took me a long time because I had the sashing and the little squares and also the t-shirts. I think I have over 40 t-shirts on here. Some from my church, and I also did a lot of races or Race for the Cure. And then what is it? I think when I had braces, the doctor gave me a t-shirt. So I took the t-shirt and put it in there. And my church had some shirts, and I took that. And I was also in the military, so I have a bunch of my military shirts from years ago and different things. I used to do the AIDS walk, the walk for the homeless, all of these things I did. And it took me a while. Doing a t-shirt quilt is a lot of work. And basically you have to stabilize the t-shirts because the t-shirts are basically, you know, a little flimsy. So you have to put something behind it. And every one of these t-shirts I had to back with some backing. And then I did batting in between. That's why it's really, really heavy. So I enjoy doing this. And it's one of my pride and joy. I very rarely let people sleep under it, but you know, it's one of these things that, you know, once you do one, it's something that you pride yourself in, you know.
How long did it take you to do that, Leslie?
Couple of years. Because you know what, when you get and you have to cut, like I said, there's 40 shirts or something like that. And I had to set them up in my living room. You put them around where you want them to be because you don't want too many different, the colors of the shirt. You want to make sure you don't have too many of the same color together. And then this tells a story because basically, I used to give blood. I used to walk, and I did a Race for the Cure, and I love DC. And I was stationed in Panama at the Panama Canal. So all of those are like, history of where I've been in my life. So basically, just like who was it would say, Deborah was saying she's hoping her kids, would appreciate the quilts. Hopefully somebody in my family will say, oh, that was grandma's quilt or something like that. I have one grandson. So basically, it's going to be his or my son's or whoever wants it. Because when people see this,
it's gorgeous. Because I know when you shared that with us at our Soul Along,
yeah,
I just thought that was just totally awesome. And I see people are reacting. Ann is saying, nice t-shirt quilt. She makes them all the time. And she says you need a t-shirt press. So I don't know if you have one. Don't know what that is.
T-shirt press?
Yeah, she said a t-shirt press, or it's not worth making one. So maybe she'll
Well,
tell
I
us.
have a t-shirt template or the template that you use to cut because the person that I'm helping do hers together, we're using one by June Taylor, and we cut it like it's like you can cut them different sizes because some of the t-shirts I have only had like logos just like this one that I have on my shirt here, and I took 4 of those to make like one panel here. I put 4 of those together, so even if you don't have like the big pieces of your t-shirt, it's just a little logo in the corner. I took 4 of those and made it, or you can take one.
Block out.
Yeah, you make a block out of it. So there's that. And another thing. going back to my AC Moore, this is one of the first quilts I did from AC Moore. And it was from a kit too. And they had a pattern, what is it, 2 blocks and then 2 blocks here. So they had this pattern and I was able to make this one. And then I went and I said, hey, that's nice. So why can't I make it in African fabric? So I took that same pattern. This is the back of it. And then I did using African fabric, the same Americana fabric or same as the, and I just use different African fabric to make another, and it's a lap size. It's lap size quilt.
Is that one bad? Do you have batting in that one?
Yes, I do. I have batting in this one. And then also to the, what is it? The binding. I just took some of the material and added, I think I put it all together. I took pieces of all the material. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
And I just joined it together. So each piece of the material that I use incorporated into the quilt is among the edge of the binding.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
As you can see, some people have more experience in quilting than others.
It's not experience.
Well, I mean, you've done more quilts, is what I'm saying.
I think I had to sit. My son was a Eagle Scout, and while he was at his Boy Scout meetings, I would either go to the mall and spend money, or I could just sit at home, sit in the area there. And there was a woman there that used to quilt. So I got fascinated. And I said, well, let me not go to the mall. Let me just sit around and ask her some questions and pick her brain. And she showed me how to do certain things, on a quilt. And from that time on, I was like, hey, I got little kits that didn't cost that much money and also had everything in it. And all you had to do was sew it together. And I did stitch in a ditch. I didn't do, to this day, I haven't done any of the stippling like Deborah and the rest of them have been doing. And that's my next thing because, I didn't have access when I made these quilts and my t-shirt quilt. I didn't have access to a embroidery machine that would do all of that stuff. You would have to send it out. And when you look about sending out quilts for quilting, basically you're looking at a lot of money. And I was like, oh, okay, let me do the stitch in the ditch. And that way I'll be able to do, save some money or something like that.
Right,
but,
right.
Now with designs by Juju and edge to edge. And then I do have another quilt that I have the back and the front, and I need to send it to a long armor because I said I worked too hard on that quilt and I don't want to do stitch in a ditch. I at least need to spend some money and see how a long arm quilt would look. One of the quilts that I made is put on a long arm quilt. So I'm saving for that. And that's my next, because I've had it finished for about 2 years. And I'm like, who am I going to send this to? You asking for recommendations around where are you going to send it to for somebody to do a long arm on it that you would trust and everything like that. So, but anyway, those are some of the things I've been doing. And I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to show my t-shirt quilt because,
You're proud of it. We're proud of it too.
Yes, I am.
It's really, really pretty.
And let's see yours.
I am the last one.
Well, you can get me on the camera too.
And I'm going to show it. I'm going to show it. And mine is a kit. And as I've told everybody that listening, I've never quilted ever in my entire life. Never wanted to quilt. Never thought about quilting because I didn't want to be cutting out and putting pieces together and all of that. That just looked like it's way too much work. And you want to know something? is way too much work. It's a lot of work, but in all honesty, when you do put the work in and the time and you complete it, then you're proud of it because you did the work. So that's where I am now. Now, the reason why I'm saying I'm going to make another quilt is because, as we all know, nothing is going to be perfect the first time. And mine is not perfect, but, and I'm a perfectionist, so I want to do it again so I can get it better. But I did a quilting kit from the Fat Quarter Shop, and it's from their Ultimate Beginners Quilting Kit, and they have a series on YouTube. And I ordered the kit, and I followed the series, and it's like 19 videos, and the woman is very, very good at explaining how to do stuff. Now, my biggest issue, and I knew this going in, being left-handed, and I'm not saying it as an excuse, I'm just saying it, this is what my issue is. Being left-handed, cutting things out correctly and straight and everything is a challenge for me. And if anybody's done any quilting at all, you have to have straight cuts in order to get your points and all of that right. If you don't get your straight cuts, you're not going to get your straight blocks and all of those things. So that was my challenge, but I did get a finished product. So I'm going to show you what I did. And this is the quilt. Where's the top part? And this particular series, what they do is 12 and a half by 12 and a half blocks. And each block shows you how to do a different type of quilting pattern, like the half square, the 4.5 by 4.5 blocks. They did the flying geese and some more stuff that I forgot what they call it. The hourglass, all of those different techniques were what was part of the quilt. I'm trying to get to the top part. And so I did that, and it started off with just strips. And believe it or not, I messed that up because I couldn't cut it straight. But I corrected it and fixed it. So this is my, and I'm trying to back up as far as I can so we can see my quilt. And okay, I got it upside. Let me see. This is how it goes. Yeah, turn it upside down again. I can't get this thing right to save my neck. This is how it goes. And we're going my right to left. So over here first, and then go the other way. So as you can see, it's 3, and then you go down, and then you got 3 more different ones, and then you go down to the bottom, and you have 3 more different patterns, and it shows you how to do each one of those. And the kit comes with all the fabric and everything that you need. So I see someone saying the colors are pretty. I didn't pick the colors, they picked me. But I do like it. It even gives you your backing and everything. And what I did try to do edge to edge. And I did some, I think they're roses. And hopefully you can see it, the rose. Now, I didn't get them all matched up like they're supposed to be, but I got them on there. What I was very happy with, the designs that required points, I did those points, honey. I got them. I got these points and stuff together. You hear me? You see the point? For my first time doing that, I got my points together. I was very proud. I said, okay, I got that. Now mine is a 50 and a half by 50 and a half. And I did the binding. I hand sewed the binding on the back. All of that. I haven't put a label on it. So this is my quilt. Now what I did, I tried to do what I call connect by camera because I couldn't get the edge to edge situation to work on my 10 needle. And I didn't want to try it on my little machine because my hoop is only 5x7. And I didn't want to do all that hooping. There's a lot of hooping. 5x7. So that's where I am with my quilting. But again, like I said, it came out fine. There were some pieces that I messed up as far as cutting, and I ran out of fabric, so I had to go get some other fabric and try to match it up. And I think I did pretty good getting them all matched up and everything. And I was determined I was not going to quit. I'm going to finish this quilt. And it's going to look decent, and I did. And so I'm very proud of my very first quilt. And again, like I said, I will be doing another quilt to make sure that I have something that I'm going to pass down. And this one ain't going to get passed down. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it won't get passed down. The next one that I do, I'm pretty sure that I will do a much better job and it will get passed down. And Ann said perseverance. Yes, I did. I was determined I was not going to quit this quilt. It will be done. And Jenny, you said, look at those points. Congratulations. I was, girls, please. I was working on those points, honey. I was trying my best to get them done and get them done right. And Leslie, you said, lovely. You got the pattern. Yeah, I got the pattern. You got the pattern, Leslie, from the fat quarters, and you try to make the blocks. And Deborah, you say you love that each pattern is different. That's what I liked about it as well, because I felt like I'm learning how to do different patterns. So even though I wouldn't dare try to do it on my own right now and just say, okay, yeah, I know how to do this, that, and the other. But when the terminology is what I was being very grateful for. I was learning the terminology in quilting. I was just learning more about quilting because, like I said, I didn't know anything about quilting at all. I admired it from afar. But as far as me knowing measurements and the different blocks and what they're called and all of that, I did not know what a jelly roll or a layer cake or a charm pack. I didn't know what any of those things were. I didn't know what that stuff. I saw them, but I didn't know what they were. I didn't even know what they were called. So now I know those things. And so that part is what I do appreciate with the fact that we did do this quilting project. And I am going to put a label on it, Leslie. I said, labels are important, and I know they are. And I'm going to put a label on it. And I ain't going to tell you what I'm going to put on it, but I'm going to put a label on it. It will be labeled. And I'm going to label it my very first quilt. So people know when they look at it, they'll know why it looks like it looks. And you said Missouri Star Quilt has YouTube tutorials. And Jenny Dion is a great teacher. That's how you learn. Okay. And yeah, designed by Juju and Embroidery Library do have quilting labels. I think I have some. And who else said something? Oh, everyone did such a great job on their quilts. And I agree. Everybody did. We had a lot of fun. I think we all pushed ourselves to limits that we didn't know we could go to, especially me and Taisha, because I think Taisha and I were the only ones in the group that had never done a quilt, period. And so with the two of us, and Taisha is such a great embroiderer, sewist, knitter, crocheter, and as I go on and on and on. And so she was determined to make sure that her quilt turned out absolutely wonderful, and it did. I was really, really happy with my quilt how it turned out until I start trying to do the edge to edge. And that's where I kind of messed it up. And that's where my disappointment is because I didn't connect them like they're supposed to be connected. And that was the part that just kind of made me unhappy with my quilt because I'm a perfectionist and I want everything to look like it's supposed to look. And I'm going to conquer that edge to edge. Trust me, because Becky did it on her 10 needle machine. And I know that it can be done. And Becky going to show me how to do it. And we'll get that done. So that is our reveal for the night. And if anybody came in late, didn't get a chance to see all of the quilts, of course, you know, you can watch the replay and you get a chance to see all of our quilts. I think it was 8 all total. And again, like I said, I think it took us at least 8 weeks, maybe a week more. I'm not sure. I didn't even count, to be honest about it. We were just busy trying to get it done. While trying to do other things as well. People were traveling and, you know, I was opening up my Etsy shop. It was just all kinds of stuff going on in the midst of trying to do a quilt. And so that's why it took us a little longer than what we had initially said we were going to do. But like I said, we got it done. So with the sew along group, as always, I've always said that we're open for more people, and we are, and hopefully we can get more people because you see we have a lot of fun and we do accomplish our goal, even though we do a lot of laughing and joking around and having all kinds of fun things to do and say and all of that. We do get things done and we learn, and that's the good part about it. We're all learning something. I don't think that any project that we've done so far, some of us or all of us or one of us didn't learn something. So that's the whole purpose of the sew along is to build friendship, camaraderie, sisterhood, all of that, plus to learn and then show it and share what we've done to the audience. So, and thank you guys for watching. We do appreciate that as well. And we will start our new project tomorrow. We will be doing rope baskets. I don't know if any of you have done rope baskets out there, if you're interested in it. I don't think it's going to take us very long to do them. Probably we budget a couple of weeks. We figured it only take maybe 2 visits, 3 at the most. I think we should be done with a basket, 2 baskets. We have overachievers in this group, so trust and believe me, there will be more than 1 basket done. I promise you that. Somebody's gonna do more than 1 basket. So there are overachievers, and we'll get them done. But we will be doing rope baskets for our next project, which starts tomorrow. And then we will discuss what our next, we kind of have a discussion about what we want to do next, but it hasn't been discussed with the entire group yet, so I'm not going to even say what that is. But as they say, the doors of the church is open. The doors are open for anybody that wants to join us and come on in. And if I'm not mistaken, Joyce, did you not say that you wanted to come join us with this sew along? I don't mean to put you on the spot, but if you do, or you're the one that said you did, I need you to get in touch with me so I can give you the information so you can just pop on in tomorrow night at 7 Eastern Standard Time. So let me know if that was indeed you, so I can get you the information. You just need my email address, so you email me and I can send you the login and everything, and then we can go from there. But like I said, we will be doing rope baskets tomorrow, and if you do want to join us and you don't have your materials, that's okay. You can come on in anyway. So don't think you can't come in because you say yes, you want to participate. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put my email address in here so you can get in touch with me so I can send you the um, login information. So if I can put it in here correctly. Okay, I got it in here. So just text me and then I'll send you the login. And then if you're available tomorrow night, we will see you tomorrow night. So I know I I do want to talk to you just a little bit tonight because I did do a little slideshow presentation. Put it together to talk about fabrics and challenging fabrics. And the reason why I came up with that particular topic is similar to kind of what Leslie was going through. When you're dealing with different types of fabrics, then you have different challenges. And it's good to know how to deal with the different types of fabric because if you don't,
Hello,
then you're
Shirley.
pardon.
I'm still online with you.
Okay, I'm gonna take you off. All right, there you go. And anyway, like I said, when you're dealing with different types of fabrics, then you're going to have different challenges. And it's good to know what to do. Now, I did get a chance to look at tons of videos, did a lot of research, all of that. And of course, I can't go through all of that tonight because there's not enough time for that. But I am going to go ahead and put up my little slide presentation, and we will go through this pretty quickly. And embroidering on various types of fabrics and their challenges and how do you handle them is the topic. Now, here are some of the fabric that's common to embroidery. Various types of knits, various wovens, fleece, vinyls, faux leather, and leather. And this is just a very short list, but if you stop and think about it, there's a lot of different fabrics that fall into these various categories. And I don't know if you're aware of that or not, but as you can see, what are knit fabrics? And knit fabrics can be for clothing, activewear, home furnishing, accessories, and baby items. And I have a list of some of the things that are made from knit fabrics. One of the main things that we deal with mostly in embroidery are t-shirts, onesies and bibs and blankets and maybe sweatshirts and hoodies, towels, those kinds of things, all of the things that I have listed over there. And with that being said, you really need to know how to hoop those fabrics and what their challenges are. When you're dealing with knit fabrics, you're going to have stretch and movement. Knit fabrics are stretchy and they can move around easily, making it difficult to keep the fabric stable while embroidering. That's why it's important to know what kind of stabilizer to use. You need to use a stabilizer that is going to hold your fabric in a position where it does not move around. And you also have to make sure when you hoop it, you want to have it hoop taut, but you do not pull it. Do not ever pull your fabric. Now you can kind of pull the stabilizer to make that taut if it didn't get all the way, but you never ever want to pull the fabric because when you pull it and you stitch on it and then you unhoop it, that's how you end up getting puckers. You get distortion, you get designs that get out of registration, all of that. So one of the biggest issues with knit fabric is puckering. The stretchiness of knit fabric can cause a puckering around the embroidery design if it is not properly stabilized. You got to make sure that you're going to use the right stabilizer and enough stabilizer. Some people use 2 pieces of stabilizer, some people will use 1, but you need to know what kind. You need to use a cutaway, not a tearaway. You need to use a cutaway. Now, what kind of cutaway are you saying to use? You can use, depending on what it is, you can use lightweight, or you can use, what I'd like to use is no-show poly mesh. I don't like using anything that is heavier than lightweight or no-show poly mesh, because you don't want the shadowing that you get from a thicker stabilizer, where when you stitch on it, especially with t-shirts, because when I first started embroidering, I still have some of those t-shirts. I didn't know. I was told, if you wear it, don't tear it. And I thought, stabilize, cutaways, cutaways, cutaway. And I just put my thick cutaway in there, embroider on it. Embroidery is very pretty, but it's ugly as all outdoors because you got this big plate showing up behind it. And I was like, oh my goodness, I don't even like this. It's just ugly. So you got to come up with a stabilizer that's not going to show through. And the best stabilizer for that, for me, that I use is the no-show poly mesh stabilizer. Now, I joined Craftsy, C-R-A-T, what is it? C-R-A-T-S-Y, Craftsy. I think that's how it's spelled. I left the F out. The F is in there somewhere. Craftsy. And it's cheap. I don't think I paid over a few dollars. But I got a chance to look at Deborah Jones, and she has I think it's a 6-lesson series for about totaling 2 hours. And she talks about embroidering on challenging fabrics. And I have a guideline that I got from her. Machine embroidery on challenging fabrics is what her class is. And it's Craftsy, Craftsy. Like I said, I think I paid a few dollars for it. But she has a needle and stabilizer guide, pretty similar to the compass that you can get from Dime, and where you can kind of spin it around and it tells you what fabric, what needle, what stabilizer, based upon the fabric and everything. But the difference between that Dime product and what you get from Deborah Jones is she's actually going through it and telling you and explaining to you why these things are important and what types of needles and stabilizers and what have you that you should be using for your various fabrics. So it's important that you take your time and learn that. Don't just go out and start embroidering with stabilizer that you get off of Amazon and think that it's a one size fit all, because it's not. That's why they have so many different types out there and the different weights and what have you. Now, I know I'm one of these people that never really appreciated, and I skipped all of these, didn't mean to do that because I touched it by mistake. Anyway, I never thought that there was really an importance in the difference between lightweight, medium weight, heavyweight, tearaways. But listening to the explanation that Deborah Jones gives you, it makes perfect sense why you have those different levels, but she also did praise the poly uh, no-show mesh. So again, that is pretty much my go-to stabilizer. Now I do have regular cutaway stabilizer. I mean, I have a plethora of different stabilizers, so it's not the only kind that I use, but I do know that I use it the most. My no-show poly mesh. And Pearl, you said that Deborah has a book out on how to embroider on difficult fabrics. And Anne said you said you love her. She's an awesome teacher. And my son just hopped on. So hi, next to you, LLC. That's my son in Florida. So he's obviously okay. The weather hasn't taken him out. And you said you love the embroidery wheel by Deborah Jones. It helps me so much, and it tells what stabilizes the needles to you. Yes, it does. And I have that, and the guide that I got from Deborah Jones, and I know I'm in the little picture here, but this is what I got from her off of her class. And it is pretty much the same. It gives you a lot of that information. But what I'm trying to express is that use it. Now, I have Embroidering's software. And in Embroidering's, it also has a guide in there for fabrics and stuff like that. The other thing that you have to take into consideration, not just the fact that you're using the right stabilizer, you also have to use the correct needle. You need to use ballpoint or you need to use sharp, and you need to know which that you need to use and when and what fabric. And you also need to know what size needle. So it's not, I was told, somebody told me 9014. And I switched all of my needles and went to 9014. And then I had a technician look at my machine, it's another machine I had, and he said, "Why you got these big old needles in here?" I didn't know. I'm brand new. I'm just listening to what somebody else said. You don't need those big needles. The standard is 7511. But keep in mind, there are times when 7511 is not appropriate. You might need to go down to 65.9, especially if you're doing really light types of design letterings, especially small letterings, thin letterings, those type of things. You're going to need a 65.9, and you're going to need a thinner thread. Regular size thread or regular weight is 40, but if you're going to use a 65.9, then you need to use 60 weight thread. So you need to know that, and you need to know when you're supposed to do that. Also, you might need to be bigger than a 7511. You might need to use an 8012, or you may need to use a 7010, I believe it is. So it's so many different sizes. Now, the one thing that she did say, Deborah Jones, which I was kind of surprised, she said, don't ever use 116. It's never used for embroidery. So I guess you can use it for sewing, but she said it's never used for embroidery. I do have 116, and I may or may not have used it with leather, but not leather, denim. But she is saying that you don't need to use it. She also says that I'm trying to think about the chrome plated needles. You need to change your needles before every project. We all know that you need to change your needle before every project, and you need to make sure that you get good strong needles, or you're going to have to change them more often. So I'm trying to read my bad writing notes here. When you're using a sharp needle penetrates clean, and it makes a smaller footprint. and you use those when you're doing leather or something like that. Your ballpoint pushes the thread aside and avoids them from flooding your yarn. So that is something that you use with your knits and stuff. Um, but again, if you have a chart or you have a wheel or something like that, it tells you what kind of needle to use and when and where and how to do that. And that's very, very important. We don't want to not pay attention to that. So I'm going to go through this real quick so I can get this out. The knit, you have to worry about distortion. The design can become distorted if the fabric stretches too much during the embroidery process. Needle and thread issues, using the wrong type of needle or thread can cause the fabric to snag or the stitches to pull too tight. And of course, stabilization, finding the right stabilizer improves, provides enough support without adding too much bulk can be tricky. So you have to make sure that you do that. Some of the common knit fabric, jersey knit, which is light to medium weight, commonly used for t-shirts and dresses. It has a good drape and is often made from cotton, wool, or synthetic fibers. You have rib knit, which has a rib on both sides and providing excellent stretch and recovery, used for cuffs and collars and waistband. Interlock knit is similar to rib knit, but tinier ribs on both sides. It's thicker and more stable and makes great for t-shirts and dresses. And then French terry knit has loops on the back and a smooth surface on the front. It's cozy and often used for sweatshirt and lounge wear. And then, of course, you have fleece, which is fluffy and insulating and perfect for warm clothing like hoodies and jackets. So those are some of your knit fabrics. Now, woven fabrics. What are woven fabrics? Here are a list of the woven fabrics, like your cotton, your linen, your denim, your twill, your chiffon, georgette, satin, which is very, very tricky, velvet, flannel, gabardine, all of those things are considered woven fabrics. And we use a lot of woven fabric in our projects. And there, again, you need to be careful with what you use as far as needles and what have you. The next, we have leather, faux leather, and vinyl. Now, I have to admit, I knew that leather came from cattle or cows. Cowhide is the most widely used type of leather. But as I was doing my research, I'm just going to be honest about it. I did not really know that you got leather from sheep and lambs, and is known for their softness and used in garments and accessories. Goats and kids, which is a baby goat, often used for gloves and shoes due to its durability and flexibility. Pigs and hogs, used for a variety of leather goods. Equine, which is a horse, includes horses and mules and is used for specialty leathers. Buffalo, which, back in the cowboy days, of course, that's what they used, known for its strength and used in heavy duty application. And aquatic animals such as seals, I knew about alligators, and it is used for exotic leather products. So leather is very much equal opportunity type material, because you have a lot of different, leather comes from a lot of different animals, because it is an animal product. The process of making leather involves several stages, including the cleaning, the tanning, and finishing to transform the raw hides into durable and flexible materials. And you have specific leather projects in mind that you might want to use leather for. Leather can be beautiful. Now, I have yet to stitch on leather, but I have faux leather and vinyl a lot. I have been planning on doing leather. Now, you can go into Michael's and into Hobby Lobby, specifically Hobby Lobby. And I know you can order it off of Amazon as well. And you can get leather scraps for anybody that doesn't want to spend a whole bunch of money on a big yardage of leather, which is not cheap. But you can get these bags of leather scraps, and I've looked at some of them, and believe it or not, you can kind of get some nice size pieces where you could patch things together, or you may even be able to do a small pouch or something like that just to get some practice on embroidering on real leather, and even to the point where you can actually make a leather bag, especially if you um, don't mind patching it together. So I'm going to try that because again, I've not actually stitched using real leather, and I've always wanted to. Now, as far as using faux leather and vinyl, I have, and you do pretty much the same thing. You're going to use a sharp needle. You have to do that. Um, you can use your polyester thread, your rayon thread. Don't use cotton thread. I think they said the tanning in the leather can cause the cotton thread to weaken and rot, and your garment or your embroidery design can fall apart. So you don't ever want to use cotton thread in leather. Uh, I don't know if that holds true for faux leather. I have not used cotton thread, so except for I did in my quilt. But as far as all of my other projects, I've always used polyester thread or rayon thread, so I have not experienced any of that. But give leather or vinyl a try. And like I said, you're going to definitely need a sharp needle. I have used the needles that are designated leather needles. That's what I have. I use leather needles. I use denim or jean needles, um, universal needles, and then of course the specific sizes. And most of my needles are 75/11s. I don't, but I do have 65/9s as well. I have a whole variety of sizes. I put it that way. I have a whole variety of sizes of needles. I have titanium needles as well because when I'm doing various projects and stuff, I do look up to see what is best, and then I try to use that particular needle for that particular project. And I know people, and we've talked about this before, I know people say they don't change their needles. And then on the flip side of that coin, people say change your needle with every project. Now I'm in the middle. I don't change my needle with every project, but I definitely change my needles often. And I try to change my needles before they start giving me a problem. So if I know that I've used my needles for a certain period of time, and I date my needles. When I change my needles, I put down what needle I put in, when I put it in, the date that I put it in, so I know how long I've been using the needle. And if I've done some big projects, like I've been doing some screen embroidering on screens, and I've done several projects here lately, I'm going to change out all my needles the next time I get ready to actually embroider on fabric because I know my needles have gone through the ringer, because I have done one project where I used every one of my needles, and I know that for a fact, all 10 of them, because the colors that I used for this particular project was like 26 colors. So I was changing my thread. And I said, yeah, all of my needles have been penetrating this screen project. And so I know they need to be changed. So the next time I get ready to actually stitch on material, which probably will be tomorrow, maybe, um, all of my needles will be changed. Just automatically, I'm just going to change all 10 of them, date that, and keep them moving. Some needles may be perfectly fine, but I'm not going to risk it and have an issue with my project. Um, and the last one I'm going to just kind of briefly talk about is myself off. I took myself off. You didn't lose me. I took myself off so you can see everything, Robin. I'm back. I'm back. I didn't go anywhere. I'm here. I think you can see me now. Unless you can't hear me. Can you not hear me? Okay, so you can, okay, good. I just took myself off because I wanted you to see the rest of the video. I mean, not the video, the slide. And let me get this done so I can get this off. You can hear me. Can you see me? Hey, Jeanette, thank you for stopping by. So let me wrap this up, and I'm gonna take this off so you can see me. And I wanted to say it's important to ask yourself these questions when you are deciding which type of fabrics to choose for your various projects. You need to know whether it's a knit or woven. Will it Will it be damaged by heat or water? That would determine what type of stabilizers you can use. If you can use a water soluble, or do you need to use something that you can remove with heat, light heat? Will it be damaged by sticky surface, such as the case in a towel? You know, we have the Durkee fast frames, and you don't want to use a Durkee fast frame sticky um, stabilizer on certain fabrics, because you can't get it off well without washing it. And if you're doing something to sell, you don't want to wash your product. I don't wash anything until after I've used it, whether I'm selling it, giving it away, or keeping it for myself. I'm not one of these people that wash ahead of time. I know some people tell you to do that, but I'm not one that does. So, I just like for mine to be new and crisp, uh, especially if it's leaving my house. You also need to know, will the fabric texture showcase the design naturally, or will the design needs to be modified? And when I say modified, you may have to learn a little bit about digitizing so you'll know how to adjust the density in your design, or whether or not you want to modify the underlay or anything like that. Because if you can use the same design, if you know what type, if you're aware of what is going to work best for what fabric you have, and what the density of your design is, or how it is stitched out, how it will stitch out. So you need to learn a little bit, including myself, about digitizing, so you'll have a better understanding about how to maneuver and manipulate the density based upon your fabric. Or you can just use designs that fit your fabric. Like if you have a thin fabric, you need to have a very light, um, less dense design. You don't want to put a very dense design on chiffon or satin or anything that's light and thin, or even a t-shirt. You can use embroider on a t-shirt and use too dense of a design, and you would develop what John Deere likes to call a bullet plate, where you have it is so stiff and thick that it just feels like you have a bulletproof vest or something there. That is too dense for your t-shirt. So you need a much lighter or less dense design. So it's important to know about that. And that's where it says also keep in mind design consideration, your stabilizer options, and your needle options. Those are the things that are very important that you have to keep in mind when you are choosing your fabrics. So make sure you choose fabrics wisely. Do some background information on your fabric. There's a lot of resources out there, just like somebody mentioned that Deborah Jones has a book about embroidering on challenging fabric. She has that class that I mentioned that I'm taking with Craftsy, that talks about how to embroider on challenging fabrics. Those are the things that you need to educate yourself with, so you can make sure that you're going to have a much better turnout or end result of your design, especially if you're trying to sell it. Because if you're selling something, you want it to look as perfect as possible. And the best way to do that is to be able to know your fabric well enough to match your needle, your stabilizer, and your design with the particular fabric that you are using. So make sure you check that out all the time. And you will most likely end up with a beautiful, beautiful design and end project. In your projects in would be very beautiful, because everything is going to match up perfectly with all those considerations. So that's something that you have to do. Hi, Jeanette. Did I say hi to you already? I know everybody else is saying hi. And I didn't know if I had stopped and said hi, but thank you for stopping by. And I understand, girl. I know you get busy and come in. So you missed the reveal, but we do have videos. So you'll get a chance to see all of our quilts that we showed tonight, because we did our reveal from our sew along project. We've been working on quilts for a few weeks, and we finally finished them. And so we showed them off tonight, and they were all absolutely gorgeous. I have to tell you, a lot of hard work went into it, and we're all very good, very glad and proud of what the turnout was. And you say you just getting home from work. Oh my goodness, girl. Girl. Well, thank you for taking the time to come and see me, and you're just getting home from work. Child, you need to be somewhere with your feet up. Yeah, you'll watch the replay so you can get a chance to see the quilts, because they are beautiful. You'll be pleasantly surprised that they really did turn out nice. And as I was mentioning, and as a reminder, tomorrow night we start our new project, which will be rope bows. We start at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and we're inviting anybody that's interested in it. I don't teach anybody how to do any of the stuff. However, I have to admit, since I had never done a rope bowl before, I did do a little preview just to see if I could do it and how it was going to turn out and what the process was and all of that stuff. And I'm pretty happy with the fact that just a traditional bowl, not the fancy dancy one, but just a traditional bowl really is not that difficult to do. Now, I do know people do trivets, people do placemats, people do coasters, and those are pretty simple to do. But when you start doing the different techniques, the different, um, what I want to say, shapes, when you start doing the different shapes and stuff, I want to figure out how to do that. Now, I know Marina did a heart-shaped bowl, rope bowl, that is absolutely gorgeous. And I would love to know, where did she get the tutorial from, because I want to see that. I have a tutorial that I got from Sulky, paid for, have access to it, put it that way. And they show you how to do a traditional bowl, how to do a long oval like a bread basket bowl, how to put leather handles and tabs and stuff like that on the bowl, how to put feet on the bowl, and also how to put fabric on the bowls. So it's a lot that you can do with bowls, and make them look unique and nice and cute, and also the embroidery. And I have to tell you, Marina, I did a little sample. You know that I did, because we kind of talked about it. And I did embroider actually on the rope. I wanted to see if I could do that, if it was going to be comfortable for me, and it was. And I did it on the big machine back here, so I'm comfortable with embroidering directly on the rope itself. So I'm glad I did it. I was being courageous. I said, I'm gonna try this and see how it turns out. And it wasn't bad. It really wasn't bad. So I'm surprised. I'm going to do something a little bit different than what I did for the sample. I'm glad I did the little sample, so I now know what to do and what not to do. Put it that way. So hopefully that means I'm going to be able to turn out a really decent bow. But if anybody that hasn't done one and wants to do one and wants to join us, again, like I said, come on down. And that goes for you too, Jeanette. I know you don't do a lot of crafting stuff. And I know you're busy, and that's part of the challenge. But I want to get you into doing some in the hoop and different projects, um, other than what you normally do on the roof. I mean, you do your business, honey. You do your business, and you got to make them coins, and I don't blame you. And that's your priority, and that's what comes first. But it's a lot of fun in using your machine to just do projects that are for fun and not just for business. And we're going to have to figure out a time where you're going to be available and get you to do some in the hoops stuff, and kind of get it done before the Christmas rush comes in. And I know you won't be able to do it then. Hopefully I'll be too busy to do it then too. with my shop. Hopefully, you never know. If it's the Lord's will and He bless me, I'll be busy too. But it is fun doing craft crafting type projects where you learn how to do some other stuff, and the in the hoop things turn out really nice, and they're not that hard, and they don't take up that much time depending upon what you choose to do. So think about it, see if we can't get you on board to do a few things. But right now, like I said, we're going to do the rope bow and the rope bow, and go from there. So all of you ladies that are on, you have the Zoom ID. It's the same one. We're not switching them out. It's the exact same ID, passcode, all of that from the last time we were on Zoom. So you should all be able to come live tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, and get your rope, get your design, and let's make these bows. And Joyce, don't forget to text me your information so I can send you the information that you need to join us if you're going to join us tomorrow night. And you'll be a welcome addition. And I do appreciate that. So I know that I didn't really go through as thoroughly as I had planned to and hoped to with the fabric stuff and everything, which is fine because I'm probably boring you anyway. But if you got questions, you always put it in the comment. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Thumbs up are, as you know, always important, very much needed, very much appreciated. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the like button, notification bell, all of that. And comments, 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 comments. Those are important as well. And make sure that if it's something particular that you're interested in, let me know. And I believe that was you, Marissa. I think it was you, and I hope you're still on here, that had asked about a demo of doing the split design with the jumbo hoop and the jacket back and all of that stuff. And I was telling you about my camera issue and stuff. Well, I tell you what, okay, that was crazy. I just lost you. Anyway, sorry about that. But I was watching Jeanette on Friday when she was showing you her process and everything about how she does her orders. And I saw her moving her camera around, and I noticed that she had a stand. And with that, it gave me an idea of what I can possibly do to offset the fact that I'm not using two cameras. So I'm going to give it a try. I got a stand similar to what I saw Jeanette using or had in her studio, where I can actually sit my laptop on it and roll it around, and I have the camera so I can take it back to the back and talk to you guys and show you stuff and all of that. So I'm hoping that's going to work. And if it does, then I will be ready to do a jacket back demo. That is going to be my goal. So I am working on it. I take you guys seriously when you ask me for something. And I don't see Carol on here tonight, but she may watch the replay. I know she asked me about embroidering on socks a while back, and I hadn't forgotten about that either. So I'm also going to make sure that I do a demo on that as well. So I am going to try to start getting some demos and stuff together to do on my live, especially if uh, this cart thing works out for me to move my laptop around with my camera on it, and that will compensate for me not having the two cameras that I can use. So hopefully that will work out. I'm going to try it. If it does, then I will definitely go forward with doing demos. Not going to tell you I'm going to do them every night, every Tuesday night, but I will be adding it to my list of things to do if that works out. So I'm seeing people saying good night. Pearl is saying good night. And you said you got that from Amazon. I did too. I've already have one. I just haven't put it together. And I got it from Amazon. I saw what you had. And then I looked for something that looks similar to it. So hopefully that will work, Jeanette. If it doesn't, then I'll be hitting you up to find out exactly what you bought. But I'm hoping that it will work. What I bought. It's on wheels that move around and stuff, and it'll hold your laptop and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm thinking it's going to work, and I'll be able to do the stuff that I want to do, because I do want to show. I know you say you're interested in it, and I believe it was Marissa, and I'm sure it's probably other people interested in it as well. How, even though I do have videos showing how I do the jacket backs and all of that stuff, and if you want to, please look at them. But I'm more than happy to do it live if I can get all that stuff to work. And that way you can ask questions while I'm doing it. And we'll see how that turns out. But I'm looking at the clock now, so it's a little after 10, and I don't want to keep holding people up. So I'm going to go ahead and say good night to everybody. And thank you guys for coming on. Don't forget the thumbs up. I hope you all enjoyed the reveal and looked at all of the beautiful quilts. And Joyce, don't forget to hit me up. Jeanette, let me know when you want to hang out with us and do some in the hoops. And I will be talking to you guys later. Please have a very blessed rest of your week and stay safe. Any and all of you that are in the eye of the storm that's coming through, prayers are with you. Stay safe, and I will talk to you guys later. And I saw that you emailed me, Joyce. So good. Thank you. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.